So let's say I'm on any area of this mountain. I'm just starting out, I'm about to retire, or I'm already retired, but I don't have a team. Is it too late? What else do we need to be careful of as we're coming to the bottom of our mountain?
There's a book I read recently that it was called Dying with Zero. And the concept was that if you have money left in your retirement account, then that means you either worked one day too long or you didn't spend your money fast enough. Now, I don't know if I would subscribe to everything that was described in this book, and it was a good read, but the concept is make sure that you're spending your money down, that you're enjoying it. You've worked for it, you should use it. Now, again, we're not advocating that you bounce your last check because life is unpredictable. Markets are unpredictable. We have people that they may pass away in their 60s and others, they make it to 100. And so we've got to make sure you're planning for the future, that you're not spending down your assets too quickly, but you should be enjoying it. If you've got that trip that you've always wanted to take it. If there's an adventure or something that you wanted to experience with your spouse or your family, you should go and do it. The money wasn't just meant to be accumulated. It's been accumulated to be enjoyed. Mm-hmm. And we want to make sure our clients are doing it. And again, as we said earlier, as financial advisors, that's where we're there as part of a process. And we want to play an integral role of our client's family, of their financial decisions for 40 years. We want to be there for them so that we can make sure that they make those decisions and they can avoid as many pitfalls in and through retirement as we can help them.
I love that. Any other stories that as your clients have made this descent, right, that you've maybe pulled them back onto the trail?
I would say the stories of the what not to do is always the ones that are easy. But what I think brings Brooke and I so much joy is that we have countless people who have done all of the things they're supposed to, that we've been able to help work with them for 10 plus years now, to see the success, to see those milestones, to walk someone from, their mid to late 50s through their early 70s now, as they've made these important milestones, and to be able to be part of that journey with them, it's so rewarding. And as a fiduciary, my responsibility is to my client to make sure that they're taken care of, that their interests are put first. And unfortunately, there's many financial advisors and many industry professionals that are not fiduciaries, that are not putting their clients' interests first. And it can create a real problem. And so, again, that's not an exciting story, but there's great satisfaction in the people that we've been able to help navigate up and down the mountain safely, and they're enjoying retirement.
I love that.
Yeah.
So there are happy endings.
Yes, there are. And I would say, the number one emotion that people feel when they're retiring is fear. And I may have said that. When we think about the people that you've gathered around you, our job is not to solve all your problems. Our job is not to say, this is what I think's best, you need to do it. That is not our job. Our job is to help educate you in regards to what's out there to help you accomplish your mission, right? And that's what your CPA is going to do, and your attorney is going to do, and what we're going to do. And so when you get to that summit, or you get to these really big decision-making parts of your life, you're not just saying, I don't know, Brooke and Steven said I'm going to be okay. But because you've been well educated, you're no longer sitting in this place of fear, like, I think they know what they're doing. I think they have me on the right track. But hey, I understand why they say you're going to be okay. You can retire. I've seen the plan. I understand how it's going to work. I know where I'm pulling money from. My greatest joy is to provide our clients great confidence that they're going to be able to live the next 30, 40 years exactly how they want. There may be some bumps in the road. You may say green boots. You may get a broken ankle. You may, be running out of oxygen at the top. There will be things that we don't plan necessarily for that specifically, but we do plan for the unexpected. And so we want you to be well educated. So rather than being fearful about retirement, you're confident in the plan that we have come up with together.
I love that, because ultimately that's what we all want, right? That confidence, that feeling of accomplishment as we're coming to the end of our life. I love that.
Yeah. And people will say, sorry to interrupt, people will say, oh, well, Brooke and Steven, we trust you. We don't take that lightly. We appreciate that. We want your trust. We want to continue to earn that trust, but we want you to be in the know. We want you to have great confidence in the plan, not just in us as individuals. And that goes a long way.
I love that. So let's say I'm on any area of this mountain, right? Of Everest. I'm just starting out. I'm about to retire. I've already retired, or I'm on the way down, but I don't have a team. Is it too late?
No, absolutely not. And again, if you've made it that far, wonderful. Keep doing what you're doing. But a second set of eyes to come and look at what you're doing, to give you some recommendations, can be really powerful. And as we're looking at taxes for individuals, I had some individuals that just came in recently. They're new clients that we're working with, that they've worked with a financial advisor in California for years. And as we sat down, we reviewed as they've moved to Southern Utah, as all of the West has moved to Southern Utah in the last couple of years. The expansion has been crazy. Well, as we've sat with them and looked over their financials and looking at what they're doing, gifting money to some charities is a big deal for these individuals, for these clients. And they had never been made aware from their former advisor, or were just not aware, that we could use tax-free money from their retirement accounts to gift to charity. And so that was something that, again, they've had a successful plan. They've even worked with a financial professional, but there were things that were missed. And so I think, again, if you're doing this on your own, wonderful, keep doing it. But there's never a bad time to bring in a professional or a second set of eyes to help you along the way.
Okay, love that.
And don't be afraid to shop, right? I mean, we shop for washers and dryers, we shop for shoes, we shop for cars. We spend a lot of time shopping for things. Don't get pigeonholed into the first person that you meet because you're afraid to tell them no or don't want to go back to them. This is your entire life savings and large decision making. Go test the waters and find someone that you trust and that you see yourself working with, and see even your kids working with for years to come. That's important.
So how do I find one? What do I do?
I can give you our card.
Perfect.
I would encourage that if you're looking for a financial advisor, find someone who's a fiduciary. Find someone who has experience, that they know what they're doing, to help make sure to guide you through the process successfully, and that they can help you avoid those pitfalls.
I love that. And then my fiduciary will help me build the rest of my team.
That's right.
Is that true?
That's
okay.
right.
Love that. Any other parting thoughts as, we're coming down this descent and getting ready to either go 6 feet under or be cremated, right? Whatever it is we're wanting to do, what else do we need to think about?
Sure. I would end with this, that as hiking Mount Everest, that's something I have no desire to ever do. Okay. I haven't had a midlife crisis. I don't want to go hike Mount Everest. And it may seem daunting though. And it may be something that no matter where you are on this journey, you may feel I'm just getting started or I'm at the tail end of my journey and I just can't do it. You can. You get started. Find those professionals that you can work with, those people that you can trust. Do the little things. Unfortunately, wealth is not made overnight. There's no success story where you just wake up one morning and you're independently wealthy. You've got to put in the work. And it's through those little efforts, those little changes in your spending habits, in progressing in your education, in your work, getting pay raises, finding ways to live within your means, that you can slowly make your way and accumulate, and you can do it. And then again, on the dissension side, enjoy your money. Enjoy it. Have fun in retirement. You've worked your entire life to get to that point. It should be a time of fun and excitement, but make sure it's done right.
I love that. What are your thoughts, Brooke?
Persevere, right? I can't tell you how many times we've met with clients and they say, well, I think I'm doing pretty good because I lost everything in 08, right? I don't know what their term "I lost everything" means, but probably in their mind, it was pretty substantial. They felt like they lost everything. And so, Stephen made a joke about me running a marathon. I ran last week when I was home in Montana. I could barely squeak out a 5K. I'm like, how did I run a marathon? My husband's like, you ran 1 mile at a time. And I'm like, you're right. I ran 1 and then 2 and then somehow made it to 26. But it was like 4 months of really strong training. And I just kept adding and kept adding. It's the same thing in retirement planning, right? You're going to have shin splints and leg injuries and dehydrated and bad days of running and strong days of running. But as long as you continue to persevere and you continue to put one foot in front of the other and you continue to plan for the future while still enjoying now, you will make it, right? And the run is far better when you have great people running next to you.
I love that. I love that. So let's say I took your advice, right, when I was in my 20s and had this whole team to guide me up Everest, but I've gotten to the top and maybe my team is not vibing with me anymore. I don't feel like they're helping me meet my needs, right? They're not going to be the team that leads me down in my descent. Can I change that?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. And we see that happen often. Kristalina, in the financial planning industry, it's what we call a graying industry. The vast majority of financial advisors are boomers. They're in their 50s, 60s, and now even in their 70s. And so Brooke and I actually, I would say, are anomalies. We're in that younger demographic of financial advisors. And so you may have started working with someone 20, 30 years ago. Well, they were working with you at the same age, and now they're retiring at the same time as you're retiring. Perhaps their goals or their focus has shifted. Your family dynamics have shifted. In Southern Utah, we work with a lot of transplants who have come from Salt Lake or from California or elsewhere. And they've worked with wonderful, trusted people for years. But long distance relationships are hard. And so we often will sit down with individuals for a second review to see what they've been doing. And then not blow up their plan, but to complement it and make adjustments over time. And this really is a relationship industry. At the end of the day, your money is your money. And you're the one that's in the driver's seat, and you need to make those decisions. And if you're working with someone that you're no longer vibing with, you're no longer in line with their vision or their vision for what you should be doing, you always can make those changes. But it would be something that we would say, go and make sure you find someone else that you can work with, that you can have that trust and confidence in, and that will continue to help you on the journey.
And there may not be, maybe a personality issue, right? Like, hey, you're just no longer my jam. It may not be that. I think more often than not, the flip in that comes from divorce, right? Oftentimes husband and wife have worked with an advisor for a really long time, and now they're divorced. And so either husband or wife is like, well, I didn't like them ever. My husband just liked them. I don't want to work with them. Or it may just be like, hey, we had a rocky divorce. I don't want you managing the same money that you're managing. I don't want you managing mine if you're also going to manage my husband's. And so there's life events or, relocation. There are life events that take place that maybe don't just not like the person anymore, but there are things that take place that, hey, it just no longer fits what I'm looking for. And that's okay. I want to emphasize that to Stephen. It is your money. You are the boss. We are just your trusted guides. They're going to facilitate your movement up and down the mountain.
I love that. Well, we're excited that we have the two of you and a whole other team, right?
Wonderful
60
team.
plus individuals that work for Mountain America Investment Services that can help anyone who's listening in today.
That's right.
And guide them along their financial journey. So any advice that you have to those that are anywhere along that journey and maybe have tuned in today?
Yeah. I would just say start early. Be consistent, and you can do it. You can make this a successful journey. No matter where you're starting, when you're starting, you may be feeling like you're starting out behind the eight ball. You're starting out late in this journey of life because of job setback, health issues, family dynamics, other problems. But you can do it. But you just have to start and come and talk to a trusted financial advisor, someone who can work with you, and we'll make a plan and we'll get you on track.
Yep. Gather your army. Find your Sherpas.
Well, I'm excited that we have at least 2 new Sherpas on our side here, and excited for all of you that tuned in as well. And good luck on that journey. Hopefully you've got your team around you. If not, go find them. And we will see you back here on the next episode of Guiding You Forward.